All right, so you do corny jokes with students share corny jokes, what, every day or every week?
Right now it's once a week, but we're hoping to get to expand that out to 2 or 3 times a week.
All right, is there a favorite recent corny joke that a student
Yes,
told?
one that was just this last Friday. Actually, it was why did Sunday and Monday, or who would win a fight between Sunday and Monday?
I don't know
Sunday, because Monday's a weekday.
who. But all right, I'm Matt, founder and CEO of LiveSchool. This is the LiveSchool podcast, and our guest today is comedian and assistant principal Sean Gray, assistant principal at Herbert Carter Global Community Magnet School in Marion School District over in Arkansas. Thanks so much for joining us today, Sean. Appreciate you taking time.
Great being here.
Let's start out maybe just talking about some of the fun stuff. If I'm a student in your school, can you share some of what it's like day to day and week to week, and some of what you and your staff have put together?
We took live school and to be honest, we took it by the horns, and we have done a lot with it. Our kids, when they come in, they're excited about earning points any way they can, and they love hearing the ding sound. I don't know the best way to phrase that, but that sound that it makes when when a kid is rewarded with something. Um, and it's not just the teachers that are getting our kids those points; it's everybody in the school. So our front office secretaries, principals. When I walk in the hallways, if I see a kid doing the following our expectations and our PBIS stuff, I'm rewarding that kid, and I let them know, hey, that's some points, bud. Thank you for being on the blue line and following expectations. But we're doing a lot of fun stuff with it. Most recently, kids have had the opportunity to cash in some of their points with a rewards week. In that rewards week, they could win anything from taking a friend to sit with them at lunch, taking a friend to PE. We actually divided the grades up between our principals, and if you wanted to, you could spend time with the principal, doing whatever that principal's interests are. My interests happen to be sports, and so I had at least 20, 25 kids that we played volleyball and basketball for 45 minutes in the gym together. And you want to talk about fun, and it was kids that signed up that I did not expect to be in the gym doing things, and they had a blast just playing basketball. And one of our other principals did something called Music and Mingle, and basically she went to the gym, had them some snacks, played some of her favorite music, and they just hung out in the gym, doing whatever. And then our other principal did crafts with the principal, and they made some type of creation that I could not do whatsoever. Crafting is not my thing, but the kids are really excited about it. They're asking, next time that we do a rewards week, what are my options going to be? Because we try to change it every time we do one. So just a lot of excitement in the air about live school points. And we do a weekly raffle for kids, one for every grade, to come down and pick something from our prize cart. And we announce that over the intercom. Actually, today, every Thursday afternoon, we announce that. Um, and the kids, when I come in the morning, I see them at breakfast. Are we calling names today? Are we calling names today? And I ask them, is it Thursday? And they say yes. I said, then we are. So they're very excited about a lot of things going on with live school, and just our general culture has just gotten much more positive. So
Yeah, it's a great answer. Is it Thursday? I mean, talk about consistency
yeah,
and
yeah,
students knowing what to expect, right?
yeah.
Um, Curious, like, are some of those rewards just like the most popular with students? Are there ones that just, creating all the buzz, or it's just different students like different things and everyone finds their own thing?
Some of the rewards week things that we've done, which we pulled some of these from the Live School Rewards Resources Library, which there's a enormous amount of items on there. But one of their most favorite that several grades have done is the Uber by a teacher, where they'll
Nice.
run in that chair. They absolutely love that one. And our teachers have taken a step further. They make little name placards and put them on the back of the chair, and it's like Uber for debt, and whatever the kid's name is for that day. I did not realize how excited they would be about that. They love that one. They love taking a friend to PE, and a lot of them have done, just popcorn in a movie during lunch with the teacher. And I mean,
Hmm.
they eat it up. They love that. They love that time with their teachers. When you bring in a system like this, you worry, is everybody going to do it? Are the teachers going to buy into it? And our teachers have bought into it. And the first week that we did that reward week, I can't tell you how many of them came to us and were like, we did, I let them come if they wanted to, they could stay, spend lunch in my classroom with me. And we had the best time. It was a blast. And that was like kindergarten. And I had sixth grade teachers saying the exact same thing, that these little activities that they're doing with them, they're loving it and they're getting to build those relationships, um, which pay off, tenfold down the line,
Right.
especially with the kids that are on that bubble that flirt between making good decisions and bad decisions every day. I feel like they're making more good than bad with the rewards that we're giving them, and the consistency that we're giving it to them with has been crucial, and just all around being great.
One of the things I'm noticing just hearing all the different rewards and experiences is it sounds like a lot that's focused on relationships and social interaction, whether it's between students, students and staff. Was that intentional, or is that just you tried it and it worked, or how did you get there?
Yeah, definitely some intent on that. When we told teachers, well, we came up with a template as administration staff of what rewards they could possibly give to students, and when we do the live school reward weeks. But then we also told them you can go outside of this, but we really want you to think about things where they have an opportunity. We really wanted the teachers to have at least a couple things that the students could choose to do with just the teacher,
Hmm.
because those students crave that smaller group time where there's only like maybe there's 5 or 6 kids that are doing something with the teacher that they don't get that individual focus all the time. So we really encourage our teachers. We kind of required them to have at least one or two of those
Hmm.
items. And at first there was some scoffing because you just never know, the consistency of doing this. But then once they started doing it, the teachers are loving it more than the students. They're loving that time. Um, we do it basically like once a quarter right now for the reward week. We do that once a quarter, right in the middle of the 9 weeks, to try to give them that something to look forward to halfway through. Because at the end of the 9 weeks, we do a lot of fun stuff, good behavior parties and things, and we just kind of put that right in the middle to give them something to look forward to halfway. And um, those kids, a lot of them, they want to save their points up once they know what's out there. Some of them didn't spend any points the first 9 weeks because they wanted to save them up for the second 9 weeks and get something bigger. So there's definitely a lot of strategy on the kids' parts too, but relationship building has been huge with this. And I've seen it from an administrator perspective. There were some students. This is a specific example. We had a few students who were having a lot of issues getting along with each other, and they 2 or 3 of them chose to do basketball with me during the rewards week, and I got to spend some time with those kids and play basketball with them, and we had an absolute blast. It was way more fun than even I expected it to be. I got to see another side of them that I
Hmm.
had got to see, and since then, those kids, anytime an issue looks like it's coming up between them and some other kids, they come to me and they're saying, "Hey, there's something going on here. Like, can you help us with this?" Whereas
Hmm.
before, they weren't coming to anybody, and then it was just festering and spewing, and we were having a lot of drama. And I can tell you personally, with that group of kids that was having the drama, it has, I'm not going to say it's zero, but it has gone down tremendously. But those kids feel comfortable coming to me and telling me things, and I don't think it would have happened without having that relationship time where we were playing basketball in the gym, and these kids just loved playing basketball, and they weren't basketball kids. Like they don't even play basketball. They just wanted to come in there and spend some time with Coach Gray. So
That's
uh,
awesome.
yeah, it was really fun, and I'm seeing the results of that already. So
One of the things that I've definitely been hearing the past year, year and a half is just the challenge of social media. It was already happening. And sometimes people almost describe it like a competition. Like we need to try to, reach our kids in a way that is exciting to them. And one of the things that you all have done is the way you're using like announcements and almost like creating your own channel at the school. Uh, could you talk more about that? Because I think it's something so many schools are trying to figure out is the bar has gone up, right, for what kids find compelling.
Yes, and I think what you're speaking to there is our media team and what we've done. For years we did the announcements over the intercom in the morning, and everybody could hear their voice, and that was it. And honestly, I would say some people heard it, some people never listened to them when they came over the intercom. When the intercom comes on, it makes me think of Charlie Brown's teacher. Wah
Wah,
wah
wah, wah.
wah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what we did was we converted it, and now we do the announcements on YouTube live every day, um, and it's very, very consistent. The kids love seeing their peers given the daily announcements, and those group of kids that were doing the announcements are so much more excited to be doing it now that they're live on air, um, and when they're on air, like they feel like the leaders of the school, and those kids actually came together. We are Leader in Me school, and we try to encourage our kids to have a voice. And
Mm.
those kids got together. They changed their whole team name. They were called the announcements team. Now they called themselves. They completely came up with this on their own. And at first I was like, but now it's like really fitting. But they call themselves the broadcast duos because there's two that go on every morning. Um, and so they're taking ownership of that. They're thinking of all the things they can do. Now they're coming up with sign offs, like the news, when the news anchor has an everyday sign off, they're coming up with their own unique ones. But then we're pulling live school into that. Right now, kids can spend live school points and tell a joke live on air, and you wouldn't have thought how big that would be. And it was just an idea that we had, and I was like, let's try this and see what happens. And the first day we did it, we told everybody what to do. When I walked back down to the office from the media room, there was 12 kids lined up at the office door to put the jokes in the corny joke bucket, and now they look forward to it every Friday. Um, and like I said, hopefully we're going to get to that more, but they get to be live on air. We have a YouTube page. It's up close to around 300 subscribers now, and we're hoping to keep growing that. But
That's
we do the
awesome.
daily announcements on there, but then we have a school media team of fifth and sixth graders that make videos for all the fun stuff that we do.
Mm.
And it's really as simple as I have always had a passion for media and just making cool clips and videos. I do it with my family and like our vacations. I'm going to make a video of whatever we do. I take a GoPro and I film as much as I can. And then GoPro has this amazing software that splices it all together, and then you can make these cool creations. Well, I've got the kids doing it now, and so we have some type of video, a highlight video of every event that we
Mm.
do on campus, whether it be a pep rally, career day. This week we have a ninja gym in our gym. There's like a ninja course set up for the whole week, and we're making a video on that. So the kids, they come and when they subscribe, they'll find me in the cafeteria and say, Coach Greg, I subscribed. I'm on the YouTube now. I'm like, well, that's great, buddy, but they just love to see our school like that. Long term, we're hoping to get that on. We have a few TVs in the school, and we want those videos to play on a loop
Oh, cool.
around. And so when somebody's walking around our school or kids are walking, they'll see looped videos of stuff that's going on at the campus. And so really trying to get that social media front. And
Yeah.
it's been really
And
fun.
just curious, with it now on YouTube, is it just students and teachers, or anyone from the community checking
Anybody
it
from the
out too?
community can, but there are a lot of parents who are doing it, who
Mm.
are subscribing. I do think there's community people that subscribe too. Our parents, when we first started doing this, a few of them tuned in. We were sharing it on our Facebook and our Facebook platform, and a few parents were watching it. And one of the first weeks, we on Fridays we would do live call-ins with a trivia question for the teachers, and they could win like a candy bar. And we did it just like the old school radio show, where third caller that gets the right answer, you can come down here and claim your Snickers bar. Well, some parents saw it on the YouTube page. Parents we talked to and everything, but they came up here and brought us like $150, like three $50 bills.
Wow.
And they said specifically, keep doing the teacher call-ins, and we'd like for the next 3 weeks for you to do a $50 reward for each of whoever wins. And so it blew up even more. That there were a couple of
Teachers
teachers
are in.
who were forgetting to tune in at 8:10 every day. They were not forgetting anymore. they were tuned in and they had their phones ready to call in, and it's just created a lot of stir and just things to look forward to.
Yep.
And so it's been really good, and it's more than just kids. I mean, there's a bunch of people I think in the community and a lot of parents that tune in, because it gives you the day to day what's going on at HCGC today.
Yep.
So
Yep. It's so cool. Can you talk a little bit about the bonus of the week and how you've kind of put emphasis on certain goals for students? Because I think that's another one that for other schools, it's a really creative way to just build buzz, right, and get students bought in.
and you're speaking to the weekly reward or the
Yeah,
weekly
yeah.
raffle. Yeah. So we do that weekly raffle every Thursday afternoon, and the kids know that it's coming every single week. And the way we do it, we basically have a prize wagon, that we pulled some money together and just bought a bunch of cool stuff. Some of it's school stuff. There's basketballs, there's volleyballs, just a reward wagon, and it's full. It's like 3 racks of full of just kids stuff they love. And what we do is one winner per grade every Thursday, and the way that we pick is we take the top 30% of each grade, and we get on the Live School app. We put them in order from top to bottom, and we do the top 30%, and we basically hit the randomizer, and that's who our winner is for that grade. And then we call all of those kids down here at the same time. We take their picture, we push it out to social media as a big group of kids
Nice.
that are following things the HCGC way and being leaders. And they have loved that. The kids who never get the recognition that they deserve, who are always doing what they're supposed to be doing, and we don't have to worry about. In the past, we didn't have a great way to reward those kids. We would do like office visits where they could come in and hang out with the principal if they were being really good, but even that wasn't as consistent as this is. And so now those kids know they're going to get recognized if they do what they're supposed to be doing, if they're earning those points. And those kids try everything to earn those points and go out of their way to earn them. An example: when we have dismissal at the end of the day, one of our expectations is that you not only listen for your name to be called to go get in your car, you also listen for the people around you.
Mm,
So, I'll see kids who will like find a kid, they'll hear a kid's name that they know they didn't hear, and they'll be calling that kid, hey, hey, they called your name. And then they'll be looking at you to see if you saw them, because they know that's something that they earn a reward for. And a lot of that can be extrinsic, and they kind of see that, but it's becoming intrinsic. They start doing
mm.
that so often that that becomes normal. Being quiet and walking on the blue line and being respectful of classes just becomes normal every day that they walk through the halls. So.
That's a really important point. It's something I always am curious, like, real educators' perspective on.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like you think, because there is that debate, right? Extrinsic versus intrinsic. And, sometimes teachers feel like, why are we rewarding kids for things they should know how to do, basically, right? You hear that. And so it sounds like you have maybe a little bit more of a little different point of view on that, and maybe how they're connected, how you're teaching skills and behaviors.
Yep. I think anytime you start out with something like this, it's going to start out naturally as an extrinsic thing,
Mm,
motivation, reward, but the consistency of just staying with it. And we do. I'm the point person on this, and so I do check and make sure that my teachers are consistently giving some points out. I worried when we came back from Christmas, are they going to forget to start doing this? And I started looking at the
mm.
points on the first day, and there was like 1,000 given out. No, they're still on it.
Yeah.
Teachers are using this, even more, but you keep doing it every day, and you train a habit, and
Mm,
so then the kid knows they're gonna, it doesn't become about the points anymore, even though they're earning those points. It just that's how we do things, and so it's kind of like you're training them, and then at some point it does. I do think it becomes intrinsic, um, and I really think that our referral numbers and our discipline issues, they're going to be much lower. I can tell you without a fact, my day-to-day workload along with my assistant principal is so much less than what it was a year ago. And there's other things going on too, but I got to think that Live School has played a big part in this. Um, because
It also, sorry to jump in, but it sounds like you're also getting to be more proactive than reactive too, like,
yes,
which is
exactly.
big.
hmm That's exactly right. That's exactly what we're trying to do. And to me, the biggest impact this has is on those kids in the middle, if you want to call it 80%, that could make bad decisions, could make good decisions, depending on who they're around, and depending on what are you rewarding them with. And I think a lot of those kids, it feels like they're making good decisions, and Life School has a big part in that. Them leaning towards making better decisions consistently, because, like I said, nothing is an end all be all magic
Yep.
solution in
Yep.
education. But our day to day workload in regards to discipline has decreased tremendously. And it allows us to do so many more things that add value beyond just the day to day mundane task. We have so much more time in our days to do a lot more cool stuff with the school and get in the classrooms and curriculum and just all the things.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, there's a foundation there. And it sounds like there's probably more tools at your disposal, but also teachers' disposal for building relationships and just helping get kids back on track, all the things that come up
and that's
that you
exactly
need to
how we
do.
sold it to our teachers, was this is just another tool that if you use and buy into and take advantage of, you're going to see a lot of rewards for yourself out of it, with the way that your kids interact every day, But yeah, it's definitely, that's exactly how we sold it. This is just another tool in the educator's toolbox. So,
Hmm.
and it seems to be a very good one. Um, I haven't mentioned this yet, but we do display our house. We have a house system, and we display our house
Nice.
points in the cafeteria every single day. And my
How are
duty,
kids split up? Is it by grade, or did you do it randomly, or
it
what's your
is an
approach?
interest inventory, so it is based on their unique personalities. There's 4 different houses, and so the houses are all based on their character traits. And some of them take a survey. Some of them, the teachers decide what they are.
Oh,
But
wow.
yeah, so it's
That's
the
a
numbers.
first. I've in all of our house point schools, I've never heard. I mean, normally kids sort of get more assigned a house.
Yep. And so we haven't really seen that. I haven't seen that in other schools either, the way that we do it. But I love it. The kids love it because it's not just, they're not just given. You're not just going to be on the red team. Um, you are who you are, and we're gonna, bring those qualities out of you, um, because we know that's like intrinsically who you are at the core. And then they love it too because they feel like it's not random. It's not just because
Mm.
they're in 3rd grade that now they're going to be on the blue team. This is kind of who they are, and it's okay. We have one group called the Finch Feathers, and that group is the very friendly people. They want everybody to be involved. This tends to be your kind of crazier, wilder kids,
Uh-huh.
and by doing this, we kind of help them embrace that. And it's okay to not be, the quiet little student in the class. You're a finch feather. You're going to be a little bit
Mm.
louder. So the teachers kind of know that too. And so things are designed with that in mind. And
Wow, that's really powerful. I mean, at least speaking for myself, I didn't really learn about, Myers-Briggs or any kind of personality type until I was, I don't know, in my 20s or later. So it seems like this is a tool to where you're really teaching kids about that early. I've got to know, what are the other three? I mean,
so the
can
finch
you walk
feather
us
is
through
kind
them?
of like the crazy, like just wild. They want everybody to be involved. They hate people being left out.
Mm.
There's also, they're orange, and the colors fit the theme. Like orange is a
Yep.
very bright and outgoing color.
Yep.
Then there's there's Grizzle Dash. We're right by Memphis, the Memphis Grizzlies. So we kind of took the Grizzle. I'm not even sure where the dash came from. These were years ago. But on the Grizzle Dash, they're your tend to be your natural leaders. They're the ones that are kind of unafraid to take a chance. They have a lot of courage, um, and it can be good or it can be bad. Like
Mm.
they could be, we say that the Grizzle Dash, somebody in the Grizzle Dash is the one that will be the president of the United States.
Mm.
They're not afraid of making decisions. They don't care about what people think about them. They're very forward going, and they're
Mm.
blue. Just the leaders. and the leaders can lead in a good way, or the leaders can lead in a not so good way.
Mm,
Um, and then there's Ember Hearts, they're red, and the heart is accurate. They are the ones who are very passionate people. Um, they really worry about other people's feelings.
mm.
If even if something doesn't affect them, if another student is not doing as well, it really bothers them, and they want to try to help that student. They're the big compassionate people and the big, big care, lots of heart. Um, and discipline wise, these kids tend to get in discipline a lot because they're very passionate about everything.
Mm. Like what's fair, justice.
Fair and
Yeah, yeah.
justice and everything's so extreme for them because they care so deeply.
Mm,
And then the last group is the oak rivets, and oak rivets are um, the house of basically what's the word? The house of honor, uh, morally like strong.
mm.
I'm trying to think of the right word. Make The word is slipping my mind right now. I've probably got a house poster somewhere in here, but these tend to be very organized people.
Mm,
Right and wrong is extremely important between these people, between the oak rivets. Everything is about doing things the right way. They tend to be we sometimes we refer to them as the type A people.
mm.
Everything is usually very organized. They're at the pep rallies. They're going to be the quietest group, no matter how much we make them yell. They're just going to be very content, very neat people.
Yeah.
And a lot of our teachers are oak rivets, which would make
Huh.
sense with the organization and doing right and wrong. Like a lot of our teachers tend to be oak rivets, but they're green. And I mean, our kids love it. And
Yeah, I can see why. I mean, it sounds like you've really created something that is unique to your school, and that I'm sure, if you stop a student in the hall and ask them what their house is about, they know, right?
oh, they know when we have visitors for pep rallies or different things, we do a house, we do a big house reveal at the beginning of the year for all kindergartners and new students to let them know what house they're in. But even at pep rallies, like the last pep rally, it was around Christmas time, so we had a Santa Claus come in and just kind of just hang out at the pep rally. But anytime we have a visitor come, they take the house survey and we reveal what house they're in. And so the kids, like when they see a new person in, they're like, "What house are you in? What house are you in?" And they're like, "We got to wait till the pep rally." So then we unveil and let's say Santa Claus is a Grizzle Dash. They go absolutely crazy over that person being a Grizzle Dash. When we had the volleyball, we were bringing the high school volleyball team for the last pep rally. They wanted to know every single person, what house are you in? What house are you in? And the older kids, if they could spend 10 minutes even with like you, and they'd be like, "No, you're a Grizzle Dash," or whatever it
Mm,
might be.
yeah,
They would pretty much be able to tell what you
that's
are.
so cool. That's
Yeah,
so cool.
so it creates a lot of acceptance too.
Yep.
Um, for why some people are a little bit crazy or a little bit
Yeah,
calm.
yeah. I think that's a big part of those, any kind of personality, framework, if you will, is just accepting, okay, people are different, people have different strengths, different weaknesses, and you're kind of teaching that at I think a lot earlier age than than many schools, which is awesome.
Yeah, it helps them accept who they are more,
Mm,
and be okay with that, and then it also gives them a group of people from K through sixth grade. When we have pep rallies, they go together. They're not with their homeroom.
mm,
They go with their people, and so sixth graders love to bring in the little ones and buddy up with them.
that's
And
awesome.
so they like
I,
become like
I
their
I
grizzled.
bet the orange one, they must get real crazy when they're all
Oh,
together in a pep
yes.
rally.
I mean, at the orange, and people dress up for these pep rallies, kind of like a
Uh,
homecoming spirit week when we have them. The Finch feathers are always the most
out
crazy
there.
looking. If you
Yeah,
think
that's awesome.
Hunger Games, and like the in District One or whatever they were,
Yeah.
they are decked out with all kinds of crazy stuff and dots on their face and big, just all kinds of crazy stuff.
That's cool. Well, thanks for taking us through the details. It was just really interesting. I mean, not a lot of schools put just that much effort into really thinking through how to create something like that. So, I'd love to wrap up with two bigger picture questions, if that's okay. The first one we kind of start touching on, but I think it's pretty big debate in education, kind of between intrinsic and extrinsic motivation. So on the one hand, we all want to just push ourselves and grow naturally, but on the other, we like being recognized and rewarded. I'm just curious, in your years as an educator, like, what are your beliefs about which is more important, or the role they play in helping students develop?
Um, I have a high school background. I spent 12 years as a secondary teacher teaching computer science, geometry, algebra 2, all things in that background. Um, and from my personal experience, I mean, intrinsic is the one that we would prefer all students to have.
Mm,
But the nature of the beast is that probably only your top 15%, maybe 20%, really have that true intrinsic motivation. And um, it's just like I said earlier, they may not have it intrinsically, and sometimes it can take one adult giving that giving them that mission, and then they become to try to be whatever it is that they're supposed to be. They accept it and they get motivated. But I mean, it's intrinsic is what is preferred. But I think at some point, some kids need that extrinsic to get them started, to jumpstart them.
mm.
And the funny thing that I think happens is they see what happens when they start making those decisions and they're getting rewarded for it, but then they also kind of like just doing
They
that.
like that feeling. Yeah.
They like that feeling of confidence and feeling accomplished and completing things that they weren't doing before. And so, I think if you have enough of that, it becomes intrinsic for that kid. I've seen it happen with high school kids who, when I first got them, they wouldn't do anything and they didn't care about their grades. They didn't care about anything. And by the end of it, they were A and B students, and it just took them having some success, and then they
Yeah.
wanted that for themselves. So they didn't need a reward anymore. Um, so that's kind of where I stand on it.
Awesome. Appreciate you sharing that. And last question, if you could put up a billboard that every assistant principal would see on their way to work in the morning, is there a message about working with students and kids that you'd like to share?
Man, that's a tough one. I guess I would probably put what is it's something I've hung to since I started in education, and it's on my signature on my email. And it's every kid is one adult away from a success story. It just takes one adult to make that difference, and it can be a teacher, it can be an administrator, it can be a coach, it could be a random parent that's in their friend group. But it just takes one adult to make that difference for the kid, and every kid is one adult away from being a success story. So that's what I would put. I love that. It's been on my email for 12 years, so and I don't ever really. I might change it someday, but it still rings true. So
It's still true.
yeah, yeah,
Well, Sean, thanks so much for your time. It's really like the best part of my day to have these conversations. I hope listeners learn a bunch of cool ideas for their own schools. If anyone had a question or a follow up, is there an easy way to get in touch with you?
yes. They can send me an email at any time. I'd love to help anybody with live score, just whatever. But it's sgray at msd3.org.
All right, it's a pretty short one. All right, well, keep up the incredible momentum, and yeah, wishing all of you a great rest of the school year. Thanks, Sean.
Thank you.